The backstage WWE reaction to Wyatt Sicks has been revealed, plus the Wyatt Sicks' latest victim may have been revealed as well, and Joe Hendry makes his NXT debut. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. So Monday, it finally happened. Uncle Howdy and his new gang of hoodlums arrived and massacred the gorilla position. It's been wonderful to watch this slowly start to build. Could have been a bit quicker.
A little bit.
I think we agree a little bit quicker. But it finally got unveiled on Monday, and Fightful Select have given us some details about the reveal.
They certainly have. They say the debut plans for the Wyatt Sicks were very much under wraps. The report says the Wyatt group was not listed on the rundowns, but all of the hints and the QR codes pointed to June 17th, which was the date of the show. And the roster was aware that the group was coming in. There were some graphic and promo shots that had made their way around internally that accurately reflected the look of the group, but they were kept pretty close to the vest.
As the main event happened, the stage was very quickly set up to show the reveal of Nikki Cross's character. Impossible to hide from the audience. I think if you'd been sat there and looked to the left, you probably would have seen people hurriedly constructing the door. WWE was happy, however, with the camera shot and the reveal that went backstage, which then followed Uncle Howdy back out through the entranceway, as they should have been as well, because that was a phenomenal bit of business from WWE.
It was, and it wasn't just technically impressive, but it was very visually striking as well. It seemed genuinely quite eerie, didn't it, with all the flashing lights and all the destruction laying all around.
It was our first time that we got to see the new outfits and the new masks for this new faction, for Wyatt Sicks, and we've got some details on who put them together, and it's an old friend of WWE's.
Yes, the costumes were put together by Callison Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the same studio responsible for developing the Fiend costume, as well as some others as well, the Bludgeon Brothers ring gear, you've called it Covered in Marmite, Alexa Bliss from WrestleMania 37, was that when she popped out of the box-like structure?
That's it.
Yes.
You either loved it or hated it.
Nikki ASH, Kalisto, Retribution, and several of Triple H's WrestleMania King of King entrance attires as well. They also did Ethan Hawke's spooky mask in the movie Black Phone, which I've not seen, but I assume it's very spooky.
It's a very spooky, it's a Wyatt-esque mask.
Right.
If you're a wrestling fan, you'd see it as very much a Wyatt-esque mask. So they've done loads of stuff over the years at WWE. They've done loads of Hammer Horror-esque visual effects as well. You can watch their demo reel on their website, and they're really, really good. So how did WWE feel about it behind the scenes? How did they feel it all went? Well, Fightful say that WWE sources were over the moon about the crowd reaction from Corpus Christi in general. It's long had a reputation as a dead crowd as Corpus Christi. You did yourself proud on Monday. As far as production, buzz, and the feedback that was received from the segment, we're told that WWE was very happy with how it all worked out.
Fair enough.
As they should be as well. Still early days for Wyatt Sicks, so much so that when I Google it, Google asks if I meant Wyatt Socks. So there's some Wyatt Socks for you. Have a lovely time with them. But there's a lot of buzz backstage from WWE stars, isn't there? There's a few people that were tweeting, including members of the Wyatt Sicks over the last few days.
First and foremost, Triple H shared a photo of Bray Wyatt following the debut of Wyatt Sicks, an image that was used around the time of his passing that shows Bray silhouetted with wings behind being generated from the big screen on the Tron. Eric Rowan has shared a grainy gif of Ramblin' Rabbit on his X profile. Nikki Cross has made Abby the Witch her Twitter profile picture, along with tweeting, "Did you meet my new family yet?" I think Nikki's done the right thing here because of all of the members, she's the most obvious who it is because she's wearing the least, I guess. You can see her arms, you can see more of her face, you can see her hair, and I think that she's done the right thing by just immediately owning it and going like, it's me, I'm a member of the group, because you can't hide that one as much as
well. I think most of them did. I mean, Joe Gacy also did, sharing a family photo with the caption "We're here," and his Twitter profile is now Huskies.
Okay, fair enough.
So they've all kind of leaned into it. But
God, they all have. Dexter Lumis, Mercy the Buzzer.
Well, Dexter Lumis is the only one that hasn't, as far as I know. He might have done so by now, but Indy Hartwell has. She shared a tweet with a photo of a roadside sign that said "Divorce, $99."
Right. Okay.
So the next victim of Wyatt Sicks is Index. The greatest love that we ever knew in wrestling history is over.
Xavier Woods explained his and Kofi Kingston's absence from Raw on Monday, saying, "Something didn't feel right last night, so we rolled out of there early. Good thing we did, because we probably wouldn't have made it out otherwise." This is a nice bit of continuity from back in the day when the New Day were feuding with the Wyatt family, and they tried to it was around the time of Matt Hardy's whole cinematic stuff, the beginnings of it, and New Day sort of jumped on board and did their own kind of version with the Wyatt family, and Woods was kind of terrified / hypnotized a bit by the Wyatt family, so it really does make sense that he would be the one to tweet this, and I do like that a lot. I like the continuity there. I can't remember how to speak.
There was a lot of broken bodies around the gorilla position when we saw the reveal of Wyatt Sicks. Not all of them were identified. Chad Gable certainly was. He was propped up against a travel case, looking pretty bad. Braun Strowman, I think, was amongst there as well.
There was certainly a large skinhead man.
A large skin-headed man laying down. Skin-headed man, as he's better known. Bronson Reed referenced this because Bronson Reed is set to face Gable and Strowman in a triple threat match to qualify for Money in the Bank next week. And he was distraught on Twitter, insinuating that Meat Mania may not be happening next week on Raw, rather. And he's appealed to Adam Pearce for a buy into the Money in the Bank match itself, if that's not the case.
I'll tell you what, this isn't the main point of the story at all, but it's quite nice these days that wrestlers remember now week to week that they are part of a wrestling promotion. and are constantly appealing to the GM for title matches or favorable rulings, and I think it just helps to make the show. We know that it's not inherently realistic wrestling, it's sports entertainment, but I like that it kind of helps it all feel like a living, breathing universe. Wrestlers will reference things going on outside of their own storylines, whereas in the latter days of Vince's reign, certainly everything felt overly compartmentalized slightly, I think.
Very much so. And also leaning into that continuity and that referencing outside of the story, their next victim looks to be Raw's general manager Adam Pearce, because on Twitter for a short spell yesterday, Adam Pearce changed his name, his location, and his profile picture to reflect Postman Pearce, who was his character in the Firefly Funhouse in 2020. There's a photo of him with Abby the Witch that was on there briefly. Now, Adam Pearce has retaken control of his Twitter account now, but I wonder whether this plays into things, the fact that briefly we saw the Raw general manager's account compromised, and whether that explains why these spooky boys and girl will keep turning up at Monday Night Raw after essentially murdering the whole roster.
It gives me similar sort of vibes. Do you see that video of explaining how CM Punk was able to commandeer a referee shirt before he ran in a Clash at the Castle?
Yes.
It kind of, they tend to kind of flavor things now with extra details on social media, and it helps maybe keep things a little bit interesting.
It does a little bit.
Not that this isn't interesting enough on its own, but in a broader sense.
There's plenty going on in there as well. It's a really strong first chapter, and when it comes to the Wyatt stuff that's happened in the past, that first chapter has always been outstanding.
Yes, I would agree, yes.
So I'm hoping that the rest of the book is going to be just as good. I hope we've got a plan in place there. We move on to NXT, where last night we opened with the Battle Royal to determine who will face Trick Williams at Heatwave, and it was hinted by Cody Rhodes that it would feature wrestlers from other locker rooms. And 15 minutes before NXT went live, WWE Social shared a photo of Shawn Michaels chatting to Frankie Kazarian. I was like, oh, that's a lovely thing. Old Kaz is there. Genuinely, when I did the Impact Tour last year, Kaz was lovely.
Oh, excellent.
Really made me feel welcome as part of the roster. So I'm happy to see a guy as lovely as Frankie Kazarian getting his flowers.
And an industry veteran like Frankie Kazarian as well, because he's been around the houses for a long time now, very much a part of TNA's history, AEW as well, and just generally the North American circuit as well in wrestling.
He's done it all, so it's nice to see him tick this one off. But we've got a lot of entrances for the Battle Royal before NXT started. When the show began, we had Javon Evans make his entrance, then the lights went down. Oh my days. They said his name and he appeared. We believe in Joe Hendry. There he is!
We certainly believe in him. It was bizarre for us to see. We all know Joe Hendry personally. We've all worked in wrestling in England with him and stuff. And Scotland, of course, as well. I shouldn't forget to mention that. But no, it was surreal to see him there. Very nice indeed. A heartwarming moment for so many people who've met and interacted and wrestled Joe over the years. And in a similar but different way to Frankie Kazarian, because Henry's usually been in the UK scene and everything, it's amazing to see him also appear in this Battle Royal too. And he got a big feature presentation as well.
He really got the lion's share of the time here. He got a lot of WWE real estate here because he came out, he cut a promo where he said he was going to throw all 24 of the other guys out of the ring, win the NXT title, take it back to TNA. He got We Believe chants in there. He got his name in there as often as he possibly could. He got that. He got into the ring for the match, but was actually the first person eliminated. He was hoyed out by Frankie Kazarian, who he's feuding with in TNA. Livid about this, we see Joe Hendry storm off backstage, and then in an online exclusive, we follow him back through the gorilla position where he's chewing out Shawn Michaels and declares that he could show up anywhere and any promotion anytime. All you have to do is say his name. And even Shawn Michaels, as Joe storms off, says, "I believe."
I think that even though it might seem on the surface quite disappointing that Hendry was the first one eliminated, I think that is better because it was a spotlight, wasn't it? It was a big moment. They filmed this digital exclusive part as well. It's better than him kind of lasting a little while and then being sort of a nondescript elimination halfway through the match.
I think if there was that was the weird consensus online, and obviously your opinion is your opinion, but people were saying he should have been in there longer, got a few eliminations. But I'm like, I feel like he was the talking point of the match, but didn't have to do all. He didn't have to stand in the corner dry heaving trying to get flipping Tyler Bate over the top rope for 9 minutes. He didn't have to do any of that. He was the most prominent person outside of Javon Evans who won the darn thing.
I think as well, and they've left everybody wanting more as well.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's a big part of it. I think if you zoom in on just the wins and the loss, then I think you're missing the big picture. In my opinion, I think Jack will agree with me.
Yeah,
I think you're missing the big picture.
I'm pretty optimistic for Hendry's future here.
And you may be watching going, oh, well, you would say that because you both really like Joe Hendry and he's a friend of the channel. Yes. And you're just saying that because you're supporting his mate. And you're right.
That is partly the case also.
You're just biased because Joe Hendry's a friend of yours. And we go, yeah, we are.
No, I think generally, though, that I've seen certainly more of a positive reaction towards Joe Hendry.
The love has been tremendous
absolutely.
From across the industry as well. I saw Top Dollar putting out a message saying, you've been there less time than I was and you got more mic time than I did. And then he said, actually, you just got just as much ring time as I did as well. After Joe got thrown out of the ring. Joe Hendry can literally appear anywhere, and he will be appearing at Burning Heart Pro Wrestling on Friday in Liverpool, on Saturday in Wolverhampton, and on Sunday in Swansea. The first ever Burning Heart Pro Wrestling tour featuring the likes of the Grizzled Young Veterans, Trent Seven, Leon Slater, Sanity. Back in the UK, MLW's Ricky Shane Page. Had a good chat with him about the Burning Heart tour, and you can listen to that on the Cultaholic podcast feed right now.
But Tom, who's ring announcing this show?
What a great question. Who is ring announcing this groundbreaking debut tour for Burning Heart Pro Wrestling in Liverpool, Wolverhampton and Swansea? Let me just check my notes. Oh, it's Tom Campbell from Cultaholic. Going on tour, baby!
Thought it was me.
Oh, mate, come with me. I'll do Liverpool, you do Wolverhampton, and then we can tag team on Swansea.
I don't know how to do the ring announcing. You better handle it.
All right. Well, I'll send them your love.
Thank you very much.
I'll send them all of your love. Tickets. The last few tickets are available at BurningHeartProWrestling.com. Come see us on tour. We'll have a lovely time. And you're twitching tonight, sir?
Yes, myself and Owen are twitching tonight up the Swans from 6 p.m. UK time. And we've started our first season in the top flight of Japanese football, and it's going all right. It's going all right. You know, it's not brilliant, but we're going along with it.
Don't like it, but I have to go along with it. Swans in the top flight as
we're doing all right.
Where they need to
We're
be.
About to take off.
Let them take off. Twitch.tv/Cultaholic to watch the takeoff at 6 p.m. BST. And for the latest wrestling news throughout the day, you can check out cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Fly, swans, fly.